Good morning. Hello. My name's Jason. The channel is It's Probably Okay, and we are here with a new cast member. Our friend Blythe has been called away to real job, capital R, capital J, and we will miss her, but also happy for her to have this opportunity. And it is our opportunity to bring in our friend Sam.
Hello.
AKA apparently only known as Red Pandroid, as I've put it on the screen. So there you go.
That's fine.
Let's go around and introduce ourselves, and we'll let our brand new cast member go first. Sam, who are you, and how did you get in here?
Hello, I'm Sam. I have played with all of these lovely humans, allegedly, on the Happy Jacks channel, and so I am here to play some games. And it is I, Sarah, your friendly neighborhood bartender.
Yay!
Yep, we decided to flesh that out a little bit more and lean into some of the changes that Sarah's been going through. So it's
Yes, I'll be playing the wizard playbook.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So
that makes our earlier conversation a little awkward.
Which one?
What about how I got to worship?
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Oh, don't worry. I'm aware. Hard eyes right at you.
Definitely not gonna make it weird.
I'm not known for making it weird.
Nope, never.
Well, that's a perfect transition for Pooja to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Pooja. I'm playing Asmitha with the Tainted Playbook. And yes, directly before we started, I was telling Sam about how I got to worship, and if you ignore it, it might go away.
I think there's a cream for that. Joey.
Hey, I'm Joey. I am playing Ryan Rosenthal, the Fae, and this is my crown. You're welcome, world. I got some antlers that I decided to accessorize last game, so I brought it, and I'm ready to see what happens with this glass monster that I think we're still fighting. I didn't quite get to the end of my rewatch. My bad.
Get out.
Okay.
No, don't. I'll have to rearrange the screens. And least, but certainly not last, Jay.
I feel like there's a mistake there, but I'm not sure what it is.
I'll submit it to the committee. And
All right, I'd appreciate it. Get a judge's ruling on that. Hi, y'all. Jay here, playing the Imp Playbook. Bell, who has a store again. We'll see if he ever gets back to it.
Excellent. I mean, yeah, you have most of a store, I guess.
Listen, those little cheruby, devil-y guys were fixing it, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be great.
Yeah, perfect. Back to normal.
All right, so by way of a quick recap, our heroes managed to make their way up through the hotel with Sarah's help. Right, they arranged a distraction of two big green Asura demons causing a ruckus in the lobby. The five of you, because Blythe's character is still there. Celeste is still with you for the time being. But you all managed to get to the elevator, go through the kitchen, where there was a bit of a ghostly staff in place. Went all the way up to the 39th floor, where I think one or two rooms tried to eat you. There was a little conflict with some security guards, and I think also Sarah got a shock baton that looked like it was maybe gonna do a lightning. So that's a situation. Oh no, the referee's call. Unnecessary GM roughness. Bell gets a free goal kick. Okay, Bell, kick your goal.
Kicked the goal.
All right.
I don't know what happened. Tell me what happened.
We'll
I think it's a touchdown.
Yep.
The other football.
It's a touch dunk, I think.
Yep, that sounds exactly right.
As far as I'm pretty sure
I
that's
believe
accurate.
the phrase might be nothing but net.
Yeah, that's it.
That covers a lot of places.
All that matters, it's now 40 love.
It's so weird. Tennis is weird.
Yep.
So we made it through the 39th floor, and had to because the elevator doesn't go all the way to 40, probably for some paranoid reason. Finally hiked up the stairs to the 40th floor and found, as was advertised, the roof is blown open, but there's still the wall and the double doors that would lead into the penthouse proper. But a lot of the roof is like peeled open. And actually, I don't know if I made a point of this before, but it almost looks like it was blown open from the inside, even though we know the place was struck by. I mean, the footage. It was on the news that the building was struck by lightning, and that's what it looked like. But it does look like it was blown open from the inside. So that is currently under repair. The Wizards are working on repairing their tower. But this penthouse is occupied by one Mrs. Lane. She is quick to correct people who might say Ms. Lane or Miss Lane. She is Mrs. Lane, even though she's, what did we say, like 40 something. She's not, some sort of grande dame or anything. And also, like, allegedly has either a wife, a husband, or both. Those are the stories that are going around, but nobody has met them. So entirely by her choice, as all the rumors go, she is not in charge of the Wizards faction. Some other sort of committee is, but she is probably the most powerful wizard in the city, for all intents and purposes. But it just didn't appeal to her to want to be in charge. So it's one of those situations where, like, I think let's say there's like a triumvirate of wizards who are running things, but there's a strong undercurrent of like, oh well, Mrs. Lane wouldn't like it if we decided that this could be an issue, or maybe we should ask Mrs. Lane, we should consult Mrs. Lane, respected member, part of our membership. It's that dynamic.
Yeah.
So,
with her breadth of experience,
yes,
she would have. I'm sure we would love it if she weighed in.
Yep. Also, before we get too far into it, I should say we have. Sam, we haven't had a total chance to jump into like a Lines and Veils document yet, but we do have one. We have some things on there about sexual violence, violence against kids and pets, all that kind of stuff. We have a veil for romantic sexy times, which is fine that it's if there's romance in the game, we just don't want all the gory details on screen. And we also have the X card available to us if anything comes up. But if there's anything, Sam, that you want to add to Lines and Veils, you can either message me or add it to the document anonymously, or just tell us too. That's okay too.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, I need to edit. Nightbot is giving messages about the Friday show. I wish Nightbot was easier to toggle things on and off. I guess it is easy. I just didn't do it ahead of time, and now I'm embarrassed. Or I wish I could tell it, do this automated link, but only on Fridays. It looks like, I don't have that option. Okay. Well, anyway, if you wanted to know, Sam Delev's pronouns are they, them, and mine are he, him. And introducing the character, Sam, do you want to say what your pronouns are and what Sarah's pronouns are?
Sure. I'm Sam, also known as Samantha. My pronouns are she, her, and Sarah Hartunian is my character's name, and her pronouns are she, her, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I apologize. Do you prefer Samantha? Should I use that?
No, Sam is totally fine.
Oh, okay.
I use both, actually, so it is totally fine.
Okay, cool. And let's see. So, so we were talking about Mrs. Lane. This is her penthouse. She is essentially the owner of the Constellation Hotel. Is incredibly powerful in the city, like not even just the wizards, right? Like she's among the top members of, anything that's going on in the city, she'll probably know about and would be consulted and have an opinion. Also, she's like a powerful 50-something white lady, so is gonna have obnoxious opinions about things. And that is, I think that's the background we need to know. Now, when we came up to the lobby of the penthouse, there were the big double doors and open ceiling, right? We sort of could have just gone over the wall, but there's probably some wards and things that are technically up. But above the double doors was, and I do mean was, an intricate series of stained glass. And that stained glass turned out to be a manipulatable, almost like combination lock sort of thing. I'm picturing kind of a Doctor Strange estrangement, that you could gesture at and it would move and slide and pieces would fit together. And Belle did it real good. And basically nothing went wrong except that it exploded out and formed into a monster, kind of shaped like a trash can on legs with arms that will grab and feed things into the mouth on the top of its head. And if you're more familiar with D&D, it looks kind of like a Zorn made out of shards of stained glass. Now, a big chunk, I think one of those arms is now just, it's not all the pretty multicolored glass, it's just smoky, dark glass, where Bell had done something to it with his evil imp magic. Just imp magic. I don't need to ascribe a value to that, sorry.
Yeah.
It's definitely not evil.
Nope.
You have to say if you're
guys.
evil, too. That was established, I think. Like, if somebody asks, it's illegal. So, then
Entrapment.
Okay, I muted in time. All right, so the creature sprang out and was doing combat. Bell managed to get a big hit in that turned, like blackened part of the glass area. It didn't necessarily shatter all of it. Ryan got another big hit in using his new antler powers, I guess, and turned part of it into like dull green bottle glass, which is a pretty offensive thing to do to something that's so pretty. And if the Fae is, if it's not about hurting someone's feelings, I don't know what. Like
100%. Emotional damage is best damage.
Yeah. So, I don't know who Granny Weatherwax is in the chat. That's probably something that I should know about. I had an idea of who I was gonna. Oh yeah. And also, Mrs. Lane will be played by the 50-something Martha Stewart.
Perfect.
Is that prison era? Is that when she? I think she went prison era.
It is
Martha
now.
It has to be pre-Snoop Dogg Martha Stewart.
Yes.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Pre-pot smoking.
I mean, I'm partially believing that she's some kind of eldritch god, so age is kind of minuscule at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds right.
You gotta pretend to age so people notice it less.
Clever.
Just a little.
Just a little. Just enough.
Yeah, and then you pick a day, you dial it back. You're like, oh yeah, I had a little work done. That's
Switch to a new moisturizer.
Yep. Does wonders. Oh, Granny Weatherwax is from the Discworld series. Yep, that's one I never got around to. I tried to start it, and it just didn't. It seems like everything you describe about it sounds like something I would like, and I just couldn't get into it.
I found it easier to get into like the movie adaptations.
Oh yeah, I should check those out. Um, okay, so we're mid fight with this stained glass monster, which is clearly here to guard the door. It objected to Belle's manipulations, and we've had a little back and forth with it, but it is not down yet. So,
I did smash it with my baton.
What's that?
I smashed it with my baton.
Oh yeah. You got some smash damage in.
And I took a bunch of damage from it too.
Yep. Yeah, Celeste also got some damage in. So it's certainly been cracked and broken in places, and the discolored parts of it are certainly affecting it. Like the smoke glass arm looks like it's moving a little more slowly, and the bottle green glass section of it seems a little stiffer than the rest of it. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So it's a relatively narrow space. It's that like normal hotel hallway length, but it's like you would come out of the private elevator or the stairs, and there's just a strip, kind of the width of the building, and you can see out the windows of each. Like she's between the spring side and the fall side. It looks like they look kind of similar, right? You just know it's not winter or summer on either side, so it looks like she's there. And then the other side, she's actually on the roof, so she could ultimately see all 4 seasons that the hotel lets you see. Oh, thank you for that. Oh God, screw this in the chat. The scariest thing with antlers you could encounter is a snake.
Ooh.
What you're
Snake
saying
with
is
antlers.
I should get antlers.
Yeah.
Yep, you should.
Get your own antlers. I'm using these. Huh? What?
Yeah. Yeah, I like. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. So, what do we want to do about this thing causing a ruckus in the entryway?
If I might, I would like to have been doing some channeling maybe while everybody is getting their slashes in on this thing, because Sarah has kind of been hanging out in the background going, uh-oh.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Do you want to roll for your channeling?
Yeah, I would love to. Okay, so I'm going to roll with spirit. Let's see. And my spirit is +1. Yeah. Oh, that one's diagonal. I'm back here. And I'm 7.
Okay. I think you get to hold 2 with that.
Just barely. Yes. 7 and 9. Oh, 7 and 9, hold 3 and choose 1 from the list below.
Oh, right. One of the complications.
So 1 ongoing harm until I rest. Or -1 on ongoing until I rest. Suffer 1 harm or mark corruption. Let's get corrupted, shall we?
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the spirit. Yeah, I really like that the whole channeling move, because like -1 ongoing until you rest is huge, right? Just -1 to everything you do. Suffer 1 harm is a big deal in this game when you only have 5 health. Or corruption. It's like, oh yeah, I'll just take corruption. That's easy.
Nothing bad could happen here.
It's probably fine.
Yep. Okay. So, you have channeled, you have 3 hold, and you have your spells. Did you want to set off any of your spells right away?
I do. I think, well, the object of my adoration seems to be very injured, so I would like to spend Um, let's spend 2 hold to provide +1 armor to everyone in a small area.
Okay.
So, because they're all pretty clumped together, yeah?
Yeah, you're all pretty close to each other.
Okay.
What does this look like as you project your newfound power?
Ooh, good question. I think it gives just like kind of a little bit of like a golden glow, like when you're in witchcraft when you're like shielding yourself, you kind of envision like a light coming out of you that like anything can't penetrate.
Okay.
So it just kind of looks like that. So you each start to like glow a little bit with like a golden light as you are shielded.
That's awesome. I love that.
Love it.
Okay. Who else would like to do a thing?
I mean, I'm still grappled by the thing, so I'd like to get out of this somehow.
Okay. One option would be to do the fight move and take something from it, which is you.
Okay, let's try that. Let's try for that. So I'll turn to violent. I think I upped my blood last time with my advancement, so it's not as dire as it was before. Yes, it's now a 0 instead of a -1. So
Oh, okay.
that's good. Except those dice are bad. Those are dead to me. That's a 5 on the dice.
Oh no,
buddy.
Okay, well, hold. So there's good news. Really, what you were trying to do was escape a situation, not turn to violence, which means we're not going to trade harm.
Okay, cool.
But it still rolls with blood, so it's still a 5.
Yeah.
But on a 7 and 9, the MC chooses 1, but this is a 6-.
Yes. So that's just I'm still there.
What is your health at right now?
What is my health at? I think I'm just because thankfully being a fucking demon helps me a lot. So I only have faint harm.
Okay. Well, I think we're gonna get a little bit gory here. So that was something else I meant to say at the top. A little bit of a content warning. We are rated TVMA for gore and language and violence. We certainly are. We have some things that we want to avoid. We have our X card on the table, but this previous shows we've done on the channel were a little bit more family friendly. This one is for grown-ups, and just be aware. So, Belle, in trying to get away, you. Like, first of all, you see like the golden glow that Sarah has cast, and you're immediately aware, like, okay, great, this is protective magic. That's fantastic. And you try to take advantage of the opening to get away, and I'm gonna say slip on some of the broken glass. But when you would have fallen down, instead the creature grabs your arm and like yanks you up and like dislocates your right arm. From the shoulder, and it's just because it like yanks it up and around and down into the maw of the thing. And you can feel it. It's like glass teeth just digging into your forearm, elbow, and it would like to eat you. So that is the protection magic is why your arm has not been ground off.
Okay, good to know.
But go ahead and take 2 more harm. Oof. And that's gonna continue getting worse if you can't get out of the situation.
Got it.
As you are grappled and being consumed. Luckily, there are healing magics available in this world, but that's gonna be required after this. Yep. So, I'm sorry. Oh, and those, I think Belle is maybe a little too close to the situation to see it, but you can also see, everyone else can see that the, vastly multicolored bits of glass on this thing are in turn each taking on various hues of red, pink, some various hues and shades of that. And it even seems like part of that green glass is being recovered by being turned more red, and that smoky glass is starting to be pushed back a little bit as the red coloring filters throughout. And it definitely seems to be gaining some sustenance from Belle's handwich. So, Asmita, Ryan, how are you?
Well, better than Belle.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that, but actually, you can see my bones from some of these cuts, so I don't
Well,
think
I'm
I
better
am.
than Belle.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I realized I squicked myself out a little bit because this is what goes through my mind every time I have to get something out of the garbage disposal.
Yup.
Oh.
There's a
yeah.
scene in Lawnmower Man that I recommend no one ever
Nope.
watch.
Okay,
No.
good to know.
Yep.
It might be in
Same with
Lawnmower
Final
Man 2, I don't
Destination.
remember.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Ryan is going to try to reach out to the Fae, and I'm basically going to try to let it out. I want to try to let it out and cause an elemental storm.
Let it
and
out.
see how that works. We're gonna see how this
Let
goes.
it out.
Thank you.
Let it out.
I just added the +1 to my spirit, so it should hopefully get me.
My soul never bothered me anyway.
All right, well that is an 8 total. 6 on the dice +2 spirit is an 8.
Okay, so you get to pick one of your activated abilities.
And I believe I also have to mark corruption, and that's okay. This is important.
I mean, you can mark more corruption if you want.
No, I'm fine. Just one is fine.
Okay, I'm just saying I don't mind.
I
You know.
appreciate I appreciate you being so free with corruption.
Yeah.
It's very helpful. Yeah, so I'm going to close my eyes and extend my arms and try to reach out and summon a almost like, hopefully it doesn't do too much damage to anybody else.
When has that ever bothered you?
Well, that's fair. Basically almost a what's the word I'm looking for? Not quite a rainfall, but almost like rocks falling from the sky, small.
Element. What if it's like hail?
Hail works.
That
I'll
seems
take
like
hail.
an elemental storm.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that works
also
for me.
rocks falling from the sky.
Right. So yeah, I will take hail. Hail
Does
will
your
work.
court have a primary element?
I mean, we're more spring. We're definitely the Sealy court, so hail is a bit out of season. But that's why I was going for something more natural, because we're more into like vitality and life and
Yeah.
things like that. So that's why I was going to something not so cold. But
Yeah.
I mean, hail will work.
Yeah, I could see like an early spring hailstorm. That's
Okay.
That's
The last
a
time
thing.
it hailed here, it was like April or something, wasn't it?
Yep.
But yeah, I'll take hail. Hail works for me.
Okay, all hail the Fae.
And it does 2 harm, close area, armor piercing.
Oh, okay. The area, it makes this a little bit complicated.
Right.
All right. So I'm gonna give you an option.
Yeah.
So right now, everyone has 1 armor, which means the 2 area is only gonna do 1 damage to everyone. I think you could probably organize it so it doesn't hit you, Ryan, but it is gonna hit all your friends.
Right.
Unless you wanted to pay another corruption and try to shape this a little bit.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll pay a second corruption.
Thank you for not
okay.
murdering me.
All right. Now, I had a bonus reward if you did pay the corruption, so I didn't want to tell you ahead of time. But the bonus reward is that by shaping this, you actually have funneled it and focused it more intensely on the creature, and it's actually now going to do 3 harm, just not area.
Beautiful.
Right? As you're directing it. What does it look like as Ryan calls down this like funnel of hail?
Right. So if we remember in an earlier episode, he reached through the Fae that's when he first encountered Cornudos with that Fae portal. So it's almost very much like the game portal where you're creating the portal to the side, but this time it's above them. And the sky is pretty clear at this point, but out of this portal, you hear storm clouds, and it starts off as a light rain, and then very, very quickly crystallizes into these really jagged hailstones that are just funneled and beating this poor little crystal creature into the ground.
Or we're not feeling any sympathy for this creature. Right?
It's also clear that this incredible, just bashing, blunt damage is cutting right through its armor capacity, right? It had like a damage reduction factor, and being pelted by big chunks of ice seems to be cutting right through that. So, there's just glass breaking all around you. Belle, I've got an option for you. There's no roll. It's just a free choice. If you want to pay a corruption, you can yank your hand free. It is not going to be pretty, but you can make yourself do it if you want.
I will do that.
Okay, you're not going to take more harm. It's just,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do it.
Okay.
Little glass sword chew toy.
All right. So you yank your hand out of the shredder. I don't think our camera lingers too long, but it is just, ground beef for taco night. And that your whole right hand arm basically is unusable for now.
Cool.
It is. I mean, it's basically attached.
Good. As long as it's basically listen, I'll fix it. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Only we had access
what
to
are
an
you up
infinity
to?
band.
This thing is staggering, right? But it's still sort of like one of its glass legs is broken, but it's still like limping along, and now it's trying to get to Ryan as it's like dragging part of its butt to get to Ryan, and even as this like red has bloomed throughout it, it's now just taken so much damage that it's
sorry.
Well, I'm gonna let Esmita go
Esmita,
first here.
I'm gonna like stagger back because I've taken all this. You really can't. You can see like parts of bone through some of the cuts, and she has lost a lot of blood. Things are not going well. So it is time to let the devil inside out.
Yeah. Oh, and Sarah, you haven't seen this before, so this is an important moment in your relationship.
I'm very excited.
So I rolled an 8 on the dice plus 1 is a 9. And I am going to choose 2, one of which is heal 2 harm. What with the whole,
Hold on, one second. Before you decide, I'm trying to look something up.
Mm-hmm.
Tainted.
I know, right?
So you're using the devil inside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So you are gonna pick one more because it turns out you are advancing your patron's wishes.
Ooh.
And this is only occurring to you now as you're changing, you realizing like you open a conduit, right, to the real source of your power, and your patron is like, fine, like apparently she, oh right, yeah.
Vritra.
Vitra.
Okay, don't worry.
Vitra, sorry. Reaches out and has been having trouble reaching you because of where you are right now. But, you open this line of communication and she, sends you all of the power that you've been promised and the clear communication that there's something else in the like safe or this like in Mrs. Lane's possession that Vritra wants. And apparently it is there is some sort of like vellum scroll that is supposed to be partnered with the pen that you got.
The finger of the scribe or whatever.
Yes, yeah, the finger of the scribe. has a pair item, which is some sort of scroll or vellum. She doesn't really explain what it is, but you have a very clear picture in your mind of what it looks like. And it's this sort of off-white, creamy thing that if you were to unroll it, it's like maybe legal size, you know. It's not enormous, but it's a pretty long, you know, a little bit longer than a regular sheet of paper. And it's all rolled up like that. And it has what looks like kind of red gold gilt edge that still rolls up with it. So if it is metal, it's a weird kind of enchantment that you could just like roll it up. Like normally if you have gilt or foil printing, you don't fold it or roll it up at all. You just like present it to somebody.
Because that is how you get gold flake.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want gold flake? Because that's how you get gold flake. So either it's not really metal or it is a special kind of metal. So, but yeah, you're expecting to see that. It may be in its case, but the case is a little like scroll case, you know, it's like a leather thing that it has traditionally been carried around in, but your patron has made it clear that the case is nothing. Like if you don't find the case, it's not a big deal, but it might be convenient to have it, but it's not like part of the magic of it. It's just a nice thing that was made to hold a magical item.
Okay. Pretty.
And if you mark corruption to mark one more, I will also heal one more harm for you.
Yes, I'll take it.
Okay. Okay, so you get to pick 4 things total, it looks like.
Well, I rolled a 9, so I would pick 2 and then one more from what you gave me.
Well, it's one for working a job for your patron and another one if you choose to mark corruption.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Great.
And
Perfect.
But that
So 4.
fourth one, that corruption point, is for free, coming with one more heal point.
You're so generous. It makes me suspicious.
Yeah, for free, just corruption, whatever.
Okay, so I'm going to pick. Obviously, I picked heal 2 harm. Then I healed another harm. So I am as I take on my demonic form, which is, for those of you who are new here, Asmitha is a sneppard. I'm a snake / leopard. So my body becomes like enlarges, takes on all this muscle that she doesn't normally have, and becomes, you know, like leopardy claws, that kind of thing. And then, but from like the shoulders up, she's a giant snake with appropriately giant fangs and void eyes. So where her eyes were are now just kind of smoky, wispy voids.
It's the darkness.
So basically, she's beautiful and not terrifying at all.
Right.
Because apparently she doesn't have antlers, therefore she can't be terrifying.
Yet.
Yet.
I feel like from Sarah's point of view, this happens like in slow motion with like that like heart filter over it.
I love
This is
it.
the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, I love Sarah.
And also, just to clarify, your leopard body is anthropomorphic, right? Like you
Yes.
stand up on
Sorry.
2 legs and...
I am a human leopard person.
Right.
Still.
Human, leopard, snake, monster, most horrible
Thundercats
thing
are
imaginable. Sam's in love. It's...
So yeah, I'm going to heal 2 harm, gain 1 armor. I'm gonna pick a demonic weapon, and in this case, I'm gonna say that I do the I spit my venom
Okay,
for the 2 harm close,
sure.
and I get 1 more. This is like a wealth of. In this case, I am going to pick demonic senses.
Oh, yeah, okay. I like that. And don't forget, you also have the 1 protection from Sarah's spell. So you
now I
you
have
actually
2
have 2 armor now.
Yes.
Awesome. Red Pandroid in the chat. Sarah is looking respectfully.
Nice.
Dorkly Kid, and I missed that Dreamweaver begins playing in the background. Yeah, it's a beautiful moment.
So yeah, as my head extends out and I look much better than I did in my human form.
So we know you've got a like somewhat long snaky head. That's probably what, like 3-4 feet long. But
Yeah.
how tall is she at the shoulders, basically? Like if she had a normal head, how tall would she be in this form?
I would say she would probably be around. Let's go with your normal standard imposing demon height. So somewhere around, like if she had a normal head, she'd be around 7 feet tall.
Sure.
And then
Weird
the snake head, just the thing about it is like, because she's still in normal doorways and like places a lot of the times, the neck comes out and down and around. So she is about 7 feet tall. She's just got a lot of neck.
Yeah, okay.
And kind of weaves back and forth with it.
Yeah, a long, elegant neck. Just like
You eat a lot of meat with the neck.
Yeah.
It's where
okay.
she stores like her prey. Whatever snakes do with their food. That's how I imagine it. It's like they swallow, and then it's like there's like a little holding zone. There are magazines in there.
It's a green
little
room.
light music.
All right. So, given the massive transformation and the amount of healing and everything that's done, I think that's probably most of your turn this round, if that's okay with you. I wanted to get back to Belle. What was it? What did you have on your mind?
Well, I was gonna let it out.
Oh,
With the old letting it out of things.
you'd love to see it.
And I'm going to try to inflict 4 harm, armor piercing, on this creature by calling up some, fires from hell. And I'm making the argument that it is an unsuspecting target who underestimates me, seeing as, like, it just tried to chew my arm off.
Yeah, it definitely has disregarded you to go after some of the others.
Exactly. So
I'm fine with that.
let me use other dice. Let's see how these dice
And this is let it out, not the fight move, right?
Yeah, no, this is let it out. It's one of my let it out moves is this inflicting harm.
Right. Got it.
Oh, that's much better. That is a 7 on the dice, plus 1 with my spirit for an 8.
Okay, so let it out normally has on a hit, mark corruption and activate an ability from your playbook. The MC will tell you how the effect is costly, limited, or unstable. Okay. On a 10 plus, ignore the corruption or the complications. Well, well, Mr. Imp, this is a lot of damage, and it's hellfire. You said
That's right.
I feel like
Fires.
Glass is going to be concerned about very hot fire.
Yep. Well, it should be.
So we're going to bypass the armor, and I think that does it. That's the math just adds up. Now, there is a potential complication. If you would like to instigate some healing, I would allow you to mark corruption, but it's going to be a little weird. I have a weird thing in mind. You don't have to do it, but if you get on board, it's going to be a little bit, it's going to be the weird train.
All right, I'm on board. Let's do
Okay.
it.
I like
So
to
mark
hear
one
that.
more corruption.
All on board the weird train.
Yeah. So what does it look like as you initiate this, as you like call up the fires of hell and destroy this thing?
I think, we get the old burning eyes and the demonic intonation thing happening that's, maybe coming from me, maybe emanating from somewhere. And then sort of, fiery tendrils coming up under it like a hand,
Oh,
like
okay.
a Joshua Tree hand reaching up from the ground,
Sure.
wrapping around it, and making with the squeezing.
Does Belle wear much in the way of jewelry?
A couple tasteful pieces,
Yeah.
a ring or two.
Yeah. Maybe is one of his rings fairly identifiable?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
The fiery hand that comes up out of the floor has this ring that is clearly Belle's ring. As you reach out, and then from the floor, basically your hand comes up out of the floor, crushes this thing, and pulls it down through the dimensional rift. It's not just down to the next floor, not going down to floor 39. It's
no.
going
To
all
the
the way
basement.
down.
Yep.
But it
Let's train
pulls,
to the basement.
and you can see the glass hands are scrabbling and don't want
Nope. No, you do not. But that's what you're gonna get.
that thing. You can all hear the crashing, crunching, grinding, broken glass being dragged down into this hell pit. And Belle, as you sort of relax and catch your breath, you feel this sort of cooling sensation on your burning, bleeding arm, and the cover, your skin was just shredded, right?
Right.
That is all covered up with a sort of organic growth of stained glass. And I think it was your right arm, right arm and hand are, your skin is basically a collage of stained glass.
Cool.
Is it multicolored? Is it fire red? Is it that smoky?
It's all very red.
Okay.
Very, very red.
And this is I don't want to say temporary condition. It's a fixable condition. All right. But it's where you are right now. So
I'm okay with that.
if you can defend yourself with this arm, you can apply one armor.
Oh, cool.
Armor.
No.
Armor.
We all get it.
And if you can attack something that would really not prefer to be stabbed or slashed, you could do an extra damage as well.
Oh, cool. Good to know. This is useful. I will keep this for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be great for writing essays or whatever, but
Who's writing an essay?
is Belle right-handed or left-handed? That's an important question.
Right-handed. So
Okay.
here, it's gonna make life real interesting.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You.
I feel like somebody else is having to deal with the book inventory now.
Yes.
Oh, don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Oh God.
We'll sort that out later.
Okay. And yeah, we're just the hallway now is just covered in melting hail and burned scorch marks, slashes in the wall, the wallpaper, the paint, the table, the credenzas smashed to flinders, remnants of a flower arrangement are just exploded. And everybody has a lovely golden glow coming from within. So, it's your scene. The doors are still closed, but we're, catching our breath here. What do we want to do?
Well, Belle, any more bright ideas?
Kick the door in.
Or we could study it for we could take just
I mean, whatever.
DVD.
Whatever works.
just a moment.
All right. I'm not
Sounds
against
like
it.
a good idea.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Okay, so I'm gonna study a place of power.
Okay.
See if there's an easier way to get in that doesn't involve almost dying again. Like you do.
Like you do.
Or not.
What'd you get?
Snake eyes.
Oh,
Appropriate.
The irony here is not lost on me. Dice, I didn't appreciate your back talk.
And I suppose you don't have +5 with the power circle.
No.
No.
It brought it up to a whopping 3.
Yeah. Okay. So the the place of power here right now, we really haven't gotten all the way into the room yet, but you are inspecting the door, and you can see with the vanquishing this glass monster, the door is essentially unlocked. You can just go right in.
Yeah. Well, it seems like despite the guard dog, we may have dismantled all the traps.
Okay.
I mean, you're more than welcome to wait out here. It's not my life on the line.
I mean, I'm going in with that's what we're here for. Thank you, Asmita, for that.
Asmita, are you opening the door, or are you just turning around to comment?
I was just gonna let him know.
Okay.
I was just saying, it's like, okay. It seems fine.
Well, then I'm gonna open the door.
Okay. Belle, you open the door, and you can see it opens into, there's a lot of mess, right? The place is still being cleaned up. A lot of the big pieces have been picked up and pushed to the side, and but clearly this was somebody's home, right? And then it was struck by lightning, sort of. It looks it's not totally clear what happened in here, but the hard move that I'm gonna take is that you open up, you just push open the double doors, and this just golden arrow streaks out from Mrs. Lane's hand at the far end of the room. And Belle, you just are like, whoa, that was close. Asmita, you are struck by this arrow. And what I'm going to have you do is roll Keep Your Cool. We're going to see if you can manage to get out of the way.
Okay. Spirit. Cool.
Oh, sorry. It's escape a situation. It's still blood.
Okay. And that's a 7.
Okay. On a hit, you get away and choose 1. On a 7 to 9, I choose 1 as well. I promise I am not going to choose suffer harm during your escape because you dodged the arrow. But you pick 1, and then I will pick 1 from the escape a situation list.
I'm going to give in to my base nature and mark corruption. I'm going to say that the reason why I was able to get out of the way of the arrow is because I tapped into more of the demonic power inside of me. To lengthen myself a little bit more, even.
Okay.
And so it was
And this says you owe an NPC a debt, but I'm going to have you mark a debt for Belle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that you, not on
"Here,
purpose,
go.
but you
Here, go."
did almost get Belle arrowed. So, Belle, also mark that on your sheet that Asmita owes you a debt. And we can make our way into the room. Mrs. Lane, a.k.a. 50-something Martha Stewart, is actively hostile at the far end of the room, is using some bookcases that have been tipped over for cover. And you could just hear her. She actually sounds delightful. She's not some sort of screechy, horrible witch, like swamp witch or something. But she is a little incensed. She's like, you think you could come into my home? Why would you think you could do this to me, of all people? And other thing that becomes a little bit concerning is the like half a dozen skeletons that come tromping out of various parts of the apartment.
Oh.
And we are introduced to the our friendly neighborhood necromancer. And I want to do... Okay, somebody say high or low.
I
Okay, everybody roll, please.
5.
10.
8.
Four.
Oh, did we need to roll 2 dice? Sorry.
Yes, 2 dice.
Oh, two. Okay.
11. Now
Nine.
I'm on 11.
You got, what, did somebody say 11? I think that was the highest. Right?
Yeah, I only had a 10.
Yep,
Okay.
I only had an 8.
Okay, so Asmita, you had sort of like backed up to give Belle room to open the door, and then just dodged this golden arrow, right? How much harm are you at right now?
2.
Okay, so 1 faint and 1 serious. Okay, then behind you, as you realize you haven't heard from, like, Celeste has been like weirdly quiet, but as the door opens and this sort of like magical influence washes over you, the person who is already dead in your party, you hear Celeste sort of like, oh no, and then leaps onto your back. Teeth bared, is trying to bite you. So I'm gonna have you roll turn to violence, Asmita, because you're in a fight,
Okay.
and that's gonna decide what happens.
Great.
And you can see Celeste's eyes are glowing with this unnatural golden light. That's it's not the same as the shield. It's clear that like there's this golden light in all the skeletons' eye sockets as well. So it's pretty obvious what's happening.
Yeah. I got an 8.
Okay. So on a hit, you inflict harm as established, and your opposition chooses one. I think she's just going to put you in a bad spot because she is trying to resist hurting you, right? But is being compelled. But she basically has latched onto you like a drop bear and is scraping into you. Hasn't really done harm in a way, but it's like, there's like red lines of scratches, and her teeth are bared, and she's just like just inches away from biting into your ample neck. She's trying to stop herself, but you now are, dealing with this whole person latched onto you.
This whole tiny person.
Yep.
It's like, this is why I didn't have children.
Just surprisingly strong, sharp claws. Like you're in danger. Like that's for sure. But I want to check in with other folks. What are we up to?
I think when Sarah sees that arrow coming at Asmita, I'm still holding one from my conjuring.
Uh-huh.
So I would like to do a spell about it.
Okay.
Let's use elementalism and turn to violence on what's her name in the room. That seems to be where the arrow came from. Let's send some
on
lightning
Mrs. Lane.
that way. Mrs. Lane, yes.
Yeah, okay. So do you step past Belle into the room?
No, I think just kind of reflexively from where she is.
Okay.
She just goes, ha, no.
Oh.
Yeah, I like this because as we talked about before, this is stuff that like Sarah didn't necessarily know that she could do. So a lot of this is kind of spontaneous discovery. And especially because the one that you look up to is in so much trouble.
Yeah, rude. How dare you shoot an arrow at my new mentor?
We agreed on one lesson.
Doesn't care. You clearly know a lot of things. She wishes to learn them.
Don't make
All right.
deals with demons for your soul.
So it does. It does 3 harm, basically using my magic as a weapon.
Okay, so go ahead and roll plus blood.
Okay. Oh no.
I like that.
Well, that's not good. I roll for it because it just says spend 1 hold to turn to violence.
Yeah, but that means using the turn to violence move.
Oh,
and then
I get it.
The
Okay.
magic is the weapon that you're wielding for how much damage you do.
Okay, well, I got 3.
Okay.
Well,
What
that fails horribly.
what element were you wielding?
Well, I think she's got that shock prod in her hand, so probably it's like lightning. Lightning!
Yeah, like lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Okay. The lightning arcs across the room, and you are temporarily connected to some apparatus behind Mrs. Lane. And
Oh no.
this thing, like, it creates a connection, and everyone can see there's like a long couple seconds of like, zzz, just this arcing electricity. And you can feel it, Sarah, you can feel it draining you for 2 harm.
That's not good.
But actually, your armor is magical armor, so you're going to reduce that by 1.
Okay.
But you can feel it. What you have connected to is the device that Mrs. Lane has been summoning lightning to power, and it generates quite a few more undead abominations.
Oh, good.
But what rises from the sheets are more sort of Frankenstein, like meaty zombies, as opposed to the skeletons that were out.
Thanks.
And
Thanks, Sam.
Mrs. Lane, turns as like, wait, what? But then they are clearly under her control. And she's like, thank you. And sends them out. And you're a little bit frazzed as you also got zapped by that. But you had a clear connection to the kind of arcane motivator of like what makes this device work, and you actually have a little bit of insight into necromancy now. Just like instinctual. You probably need to read up on it a little bit, but it was pretty easy to throw out this elemental magic and a shield. It's very sort of instinctual things to want to do. But manipulating the dead to either move or even try to have them come back to life has a certain je ne sais quoi.
There's a certain cachet there.
Yeah.
I like the flavor of that. That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Am I taking faint, serious, or what kind of harm am I taking?
Just the first box. So you kind of fill it in from top to bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oops, I made a Frankenstein. Sorry, guys.
Instead of the pyramid of needs, you have the pyramid of harm.
That tracks.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. Ryan, what are you up to?
Well, I have a question, and I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but I'm going to ask anyway, because Celeste's clearly not under her own volition. But would her attacking Asmita count as a betrayal, which is something she promised not to do to me during our intimate moment?
I don't think we can interpret it that way because you're right, she's not acting by her own choice.
That's what I figured. That's why I just double checked. Okay. I would like to, because, corrupt, it's fine. I'll just mark another corruption for this. It'll be great. I would like to go up to Celeste and use one of my fairy magic abilities. And I'm going to use Bedlam. You can touch a target to place them in a specific emotional state, your choice. Mark corruption. Oh, I can also mark a second corruption if I want to have it directed towards a target. So yeah, I'm going to touch Celeste, and I want her to feel peaceful and placid and non-violent
Mm-hmm.
to kind of eliminate her as a threat without eliminating her as a threat.
Okay. So let's you have access powers of select powers whenever you use for it, choose one.
And I marked a corruption to activate it.
Okay, and then there's no roll for that, right? It just
No, it just goes off.
just does the thing. Okay. All right. So the one thing I am gonna have you roll is the what is it? Keep your cool. What's it called? Yeah, keep your cool.
Yeah.
With spirit.
Cool.
It's not directly related to whether this will work or not, but it's some mitigating factors.
Okay, that is an 8 on the dice with 2 spirits. That's a 10.
Oh yeah, on a 10, all's well. Yeah, you reach up, you grab Celeste's elbow as she's like trying to tear into Esmita, and you see like she immediately like relaxes, like slumps off of Esmita, and then you can see the competing Fae and human wizard magic in Celeste kind of just shut her down. She just like powers down, like, and she slumps against the wall outside. And you can even see before she passes out kind of like a grateful expression of like, this is better than the alternative. Like nobody likes being mind controlled. That's shitty.
No.
Yeah, she passes out, no further harm, and Esmita, you're free to move about as well. But I wanted to come back to Belle too. Belle, you yanked open the door, golden arrow shot out, lightning bolt shot in. There's all this stuff going on with Celeste behind you. What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to ignore the Celeste stuff. I'm going to assume that whatever's happening behind me is happening. We're here for a goal. Celeste will figure it out. She's capable. So I'm going to try to... How far away is Mrs. Lane?
Well, the whole... The penthouse is basically the size of the whole building, right? It's almost the entire width of the square building. And it was a big, like probably 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom kind of home. It's not like a mansion, but it's a really well-appointed, fancy condo. With there were like some open deck balconies and all that kind of stuff. So it's a fairly large room, and it looks like Mrs. Lane is kind of taking cover in the wreckage of the kitchen, which I'm going to say is the far back corner. So it's as like you're going in kind of the middle of the area, like where the entrance area is. You can see a lot of walls are knocked down, and there was a study and some bedrooms and an office and library, and then the kitchen area was the far back corner. And you could see there's like a tipped over refrigerator that she's kind of not like cowering behind, but using it as a protective barrier.
All right. Well, I mean, things that I'm, looking at here and realizing about my character is that I'm, supposed to be a talky character.
I think that's the problem. I think we were all supposed to be talking characters.
Yeah, and we've definitely not chosen to talk our way into or out of anything. So,
I got us a witch bartender.
You did. That was nice.
You made a
hold
friend.
on 1 second. So what I guess I'm gonna do is try to get to her and punch her in like the face.
I'm really enjoying the sound effects.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to whack her with the old glass arm there.
Okay, so you're gonna just sprint across and try to do that. Okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna have this be a 2-piece thing because there's a lot of there's all the skeletons and now zombies in the room and everything to get past. So I'm gonna start with a keep your cool.
Cool.
To get through. Oh, actually, well, it still feels like escape a situation, but I'm gonna have you roll keep your cool.
All right, cool. keep my cool, rolling with spirit. On high roll. Well, that went well. That is a 4 on the dice, plus
Okay.
1 for spirit, for a whopping total of 5.
Okay.
Those dice are dead to me.
So my hard move is that you're not going to be able to make it to Mrs. Lane this turn.
Figured.
You are faced with several skeletons and zombies, however, so if you would like to do turn to violence with them, they would like to also with you.
I would like to turn to violence with them, so
Yeah.
I will.
If you show them yours, they will show you theirs.
Yep. I am going to try to punch whatever's nearest.
Sure.
Well, if you cannot turn to violence with the one on the left, then you must turn to violence with the one on the right.
Well, this is terrific. Because that's a snake eyes
Oh
on the
God.
dice.
Oh no!
So that's a 2. That's a 2 with my blood. That's a 2.
Okay. Well, I think it must be the blood that made you slip,
Yep.
right? Just this, the place is a mess. There's, just stuff all over the place, and you stepped in some blood on your way through. Your boot got slippery. Or actually, I imagine you have like fancy nice shoes. Is that-
Yeah. Definitely great for fighting.
Maybe
Yeah,
like
it's like-
just a civilized heel.
Yep. Italian leather.
Yeah.
Spoke.
Yeah.
Nice and pointy and shiny.
Yeah.
And a little slippery because, running around
Sure.
to commit a crime, that's the way to do it.
Yep. So you go sprinting through the room, and your goal is to just dodge and weave through the skeletons because you're totally focused on your goal. But as you dodge past some of the skeletons, one of the zombies, not very well, but just kind of like, and manages to clothesline you, and just whoop, you flip, you go down on the floor, and the zombies kind of swarm onto you as the skeletons continue to advance on the door. So we're looking at 2 harm right off the top.
Oh boy, we're getting into some serious harm places here.
Well, except you have 1 from your shield that Sarah cast. Mm-hmm. And if you can tell me how you defend yourself with your arm, you could have 2, which would negate the damage coming in.
I mean, you said the arm is all shiny. Mm-hmm. So can I just sort of like stiff arm? Is that going to be enough to like stiff arm?
Yeah, I think if you get that, because they're trying to, like, the zombies are trying to like scratch and bite at you, and
Yeah. So
and this
I
is just
jam my arm in one of the zombie mouths.
Yeah. Okay.
And, like eat glass.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you don't take any damage yet. All of you see Bell go in and disappear under like half a dozen zombies. As he's taken out. It looked great at the start. It was that, the wide receiver taking off at a dead sprint of like, yeah, go. Oh God. Just get
Shump.
just side tackled, just blah. Because
Down.
we're all big football fans here, I'm sure. Esmita, you look like you have something to say.
If you're okay with me going, I have a thing I would like to do.
Yeah.
So when we were dealing with all the corruption and then some extra corruption earlier, I got an advancement.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I took from hell, which is mark corruption, have your patrons send a gang of demons to work on your behalf for a scene.
Oh,
They're 2 harm, small, 2 armor, demonic.
yeah.
So I am going to call on Vitra to send me, some assistance here. And I would say that in this case, the army of small demons I get are Kalana, which are pygmy elephants.
Oh.
So, but they're like extra pygmy.
How do I spell that so I can look up a picture of it?
Kallana.
Oh.
They're mythical, but it's a suspected species of dwarf elephants.
Okay. And the demonic ones probably have like tusks the length of their body, and
Yeah, I would say like that they're probably, the way I imagine them in this case, is that they are about the size of like large dogs and have incredibly long tusks, like mammoth style. But they're still cute
That sounds adorable.
because tiny
Yeah.
elephants.
Yeah, tiny elephants are adorable.
all right. So
When it came down to this or the ants, I was like, yeah, let's
yeah,
go with the
elephants.
Yeah, the answer is clearly the tiny elephant.
yep. Okay, so the tiny elephants go charging in and are occupying the skeletons and even the zombies to some extent. And Belle, you're gonna have a lot easier time getting up out of that situation. Do you have anything to roll for that, Esmita?
No, I did have to mark a corruption.
Oh, you just mark a corruption. Easy peasy, right? Like, what's the problem?
I mean, it's like nothing bad could come of this.
I love it. Okay, I want to check in with Sarah. What are you up to?
Well, she's real curious about necromancy right now. How does what do I roll for let it out?
That is plus spirit.
Yes, okay. That's what I was hoping you were gonna say. So I see I have an ability that says reshape the essence or nature of an exposed object or magic spell. So I just kind of saw how Mrs. Lane was controlling these skeletons and or zombies
Mm-hmm.
when I connected to that thing. I would like to try and reshape that spell.
To be under your control?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This may be a record. Less than one session in, and Sam already has an army of undead.
Well, we'll
Let's
see.
what the dice think about it.
All right, so there is a small complication here in that Mrs. Lane is basically the most powerful wizard in the city.
Sure, yes.
So I'm okay with this, but I would have you roll at disadvantage.
Okay.
If you want to take a swing at that, though. So that's roll 3 dice and take the worst 2.
Okay. I'm hoping that like the unexpectedness of the zombies I accidentally conjured would be like she's not quite as connected to those, so maybe I could like these are mine.
Yeah, I think that's doable. So if you want just half of them, if you want to just take control of the zombies, I'll undo the disadvantage.
Deal. Let's do that.
Okay? This game's all
Okay.
about making deals.
Yeah. Dice, don't fuck this up. Did you hear me? We could get a zombie army.
Or a cadre, at least.
Andre.
A small entourage.
Oh, they heard me. That's a 9.
Zomtourage. Okay, a 9. On a hit, mark corruption and activate an ability from your playbook, which you're reshaping a spell.
Yep.
The MC will tell you how the effect is costly, limited, or unstable.
Great.
So, I'm gonna give you a choice. Either you're gonna get, one more round of being able to direct the zombies before they kind of just fall apart, or you can pay a corruption and have control of them for the scene until they're like physically destroyed.
That's a no-brainer. I'll take the corruption.
Okay.
Give me the zombies.
Corruption. It's what's for dinner. Okay, so what all right, so you managed to twist this spell since those zombies weren't even really supposed to be under her control. They kind of just were under her control by default. But you sort of project your consciousness and figure how to like untwine. They were animated by your spirit essentially, so they like kind of stand up and back away from Belle and do like I assume like a Lady Gaga dance move, plant feet and stand up straight. I don't know how Sarah would animate these, but they just turn to look at you. They're dead inside, right? They're not intelligent at all. There's a whole variety of different bodies. And you can see like none of them are one whole. They're all like stitched together, like Frankenstein monster kind of horrors. So they're not just bodies that were raised from the dead. But that's what you have at your disposal. Belle, the massive zombies have just stood up and stepped away from you.
Thank you.
And this might actually be a good place to take our mid-game break. Anything we want to establish before we go off so we don't forget? Joey, I can't hear you.
That's because I muted when I sneezed.
Oh.
Nope, I'm good. I just probably have an idea that's going to go horribly wrong, but that can wait till after the break.
Well, can I hear the idea just so I can think about it?
Well, raising the dead seems to be a crime against nature, right? Effectively.
Depends on nature, I guess.
And when I made my deal with a certain god of nature, I definitely touched him.
Yes.
So I might be trying to surprise or mislead, distract, or trick Mrs. Lane by appearing as Cornunos.
That is a complicated move.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Cornunos may misinterpret that as disrespect.
I have plans on how to explain myself.
Okay, that's good. I just want to make sure you have all of the...
Oh, I'm aware that it's a terrible idea.
Okay.
But we're going to see if I can talk myself out of it.
Always do the bad idea. Okay, this is good. Anything else before we step out for a minute? Okay, I'm going to throw up our 4-minute timer. If we need a little bit longer, it's not a big deal, but just give everyone a sense of where we are. Folks in chat, we will be back momentarily. And, if you don't mind, too, if somebody comes by while we're taking a break, let them know. We're coming back and we'll recap and catch everyone up. So don't wander off. We'll be, after these messages, we'll be right back. Okay, see you in a bit. we're back. Hello.
Oh.
We had a lovely break. It was certainly more than 4 minutes. Thank you, everyone, for hanging in there. Sometimes in life, you need more than 4 minutes. And you know what? You might prefer more than 4 minutes. So you got to go with what's right for you. If 4 isn't enough, ask for more. I don't think we have to recap too much here. We're fighting. We were fighting zombies and skeletons. Now the zombies on the zombies are on our side. The skeletons are not. Belle is sort of getting up off the floor. Sarah, I'm going to have you have stepped in, like, within the threshold to, as you're sort of manipulating your magic as a further repercussion, Sarah, like when you take over these zombies, you just get I was going to say laser eyes. She doesn't actually shoot lasers out of her eyes, but Mrs. Lane, like her attention just snap focus on, like when you're doing a turn in dance and you come around and you just like pin that turn. That's it. And you know that you have her attention. But you also know you have met her 3 times and there's no recognition that she knows you.
Oh,
but
that's even worse.
But now she knows you.
Rude.
She doesn't remember you from the 3 previous times you poured drinks for her and had a whole ass conversation at the bar. But that's
I like her even less now.
When you give someone the nice to see you again, and they respond with nice to meet you. Like, oh,
yes.
You son of a bitch.
Yep.
Just putting you on the list.
Yep. I feel bad that sort of happens to me in that I can remember everything we talked about, right? I remember everything you told me about yourself except your name. And that is unfortunate because people like to be addressed by their name, not wrongly.
I remember the first letter of people's names.
Ooh, that's pretty handy.
And then not the rest of it.
I pretty much only remember faces. So I'm like, I know you, but I'm a goldfish, so I have no idea what your name is. I'm sorry. It's not
My
personal.
favorite is when people come up post-show and, like, you're drunk off show energy. Like, you don't know. And, oh my God, you were
alcohol.
Thanks, friend.
Yeah. Good
Hey,
to see you, bud.
I haven't seen you since.
Hey there, Chief.
Yeah, has it been that long?
Right. Give me a clue. Help me out.
Yep.
Or working in the entertainment industry in Los Angeles. Do I know you? Have we worked together? Or have I just seen you?
Right. Oh, yeah, that's
Exactly.
complicated. Yep.
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 Okay, so, I think we need to catch up with Esmita. You summoned the elephants. They are,
Summon elephants.
I think, adapting to the fact that the zombies are no longer antagonistic, because they're sort of going with what you want them to do. And they're for the whole scene, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and how tall are your dwarf elements? Elephantals. You're an elephantal.
They're Kalana.
Elemental,
The
stop
Kalana.
it.
I say they're about the size of, like, because they're supposed to be small demon packs. So let's go with German Shepherd sized.
Yeah, that feels right. Like half a dozen or so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable thing to get a half a dozen German Shepherd sized elephants with giant tusks.
Okay, so this is, what's funny? As I was sort of tinkering with this encounter, I was like, okay, this is kind of a neat detail. I don't know how I'm gonna reveal it, and you've just revealed it by accident. So they go through and they go stomping through some of the skeletons and like break them, right? But the skeletons immediately just start reforming, right? Like a shattered arm just whoop, like goes back into one piece until one of the elephants like jabs its tusks up into the rib cage of the thing and shakes it, and the ribs break apart, and this thing isn't totally out of the fight, but the ribs don't heal up. And so the bone / tusk weapon of the elephant is the weakness of the skeletons, which I had put in my notes. I'm like, it's not like you need the weakness to fight them, but they have no resistance to bone weapons. And so that's and it's really obvious to everyone, right? Because this one is like and like shake that body, someone else's body into bits, right? And the skeletons don't really seem to have any sort of emotional joie de vivre. Is that the right term? That
Yeah.
they are, the skeletons and the zombies are both just like mindless monsters, right? Just for everyone's comfort and awareness, these aren't like the mind controlled Celeste, right? Like that.
Esprit de corps. There you go.
Yes, that is perfect. Wow. Oh God, screw this. Thank you. You are very welcome on this channel. Jay, this is a friend of yours, right?
Yep, from the Twitters. Hello, God through this.
Yeah. Very welcome. Thank you for coming. That is, please take 100 channel points. I don't know what that means, but you have 100 probably okay points. I should find a way to actually use my channel points. There is a thing. Okay. As a reminder for all of us and everyone at home, check your posture, drink your water. Have you taken your potions today? Anything you might need to do to take care of your corporeal form, please don't forget. And we carry on. So we've all witnessed the skeleton's weakness. At about the same time, like, it's hard to tell. There's so many. It's like 10 or 12 more skeletons come out of the wreckage of one of the back rooms. So, you know, the half a dozen that were out here were just the ones that were like cleaning up currently. Like if we were to rewind the tape and watch from Mrs. Lane's point of view for part of the day, she heard the ruckus outside and thought like, oh, the glass monster will eat them. It's fine. And she just had skeletons moving around, like picking stuff up and putting things away. And you know, that was her day. Now that's gone out the window.
Has a bunch of skeletons.
Keep in mind too that it is coastal sunset now, right? It's the sun is going down. We're wide open to the sky. The stars are starting to come out. Weirdly, in this city, even though this is like a hustling, bustling city of a few million people, the night sky here is always like Colorado night sky in the middle of nowhere, right? Like it is all of the stars cutting through the light pollution and all of that stuff. For whatever reason, it's not like alien stars, right? It's our it's our starscape, but it is always clear and bright and as if you were out in the middle of nowhere on the top of a mountain and just gorgeous, beautiful spread of stars. And here you are up on the 40th floor with just this incredible, breathtaking view. The sun going down, the orange, red, pink ribbons of strips of cloud stretching out over the ocean. The coast of California off to the east, which is close enough for a bridge, right? There's a bridge you can drive across to get out to the 5 islands here. Yeah. Santa Sombra. And the one thing that you notice is that we're starting to get a little bit of that marine layer, which normally we see in a morning on the California coast. You can feel it building, right? You can still see the stars, but the reason why I mentioned the stars are always so bright here is because they're starting to be obfuscated a little bit by this marine layer that is rising. It's like coming from the ground up, and it like is gonna grow up and be a cloud someday. What are we up to?
I'm gonna do my horrible idea and see how that goes. I'm legitimately scared. So this is a let it out roll.
Oh, you do have to roll let it out. Yes.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Excellent.
Okay, so that is a 9.
Yes.
That is a 7 on the dice, plus 2 is a 9.
Uh-huh.
So I do have to mark corruption, which I'm almost filled up my corruption check again. That's probably fine. I don't know why I'm worried about that.
Hold,
but
please.
Yeah.
Hold, please. Your
Of
transformation is important to us and will be answered in the order in which it was received. On a hit, mark corruption and activate an ability. The MC will let you know how it's costly, limited, or unstable.
Unless someone wants to help me let it out.
I am open to a help roll.
Oh.
Sarah, I think Ryan's magic is the closest to your type of magic, in that particularly because he's using nature magic, and that's kind of what you've been plugged into. It's just the Fae don't learn spells, right? They just are Fae. Be Fae, do crimes.
As is tradition.
Yep. And they are inhuman. They're not motivated by the same things humans are. They are otherworldly. But their magic is much more compatible than, like, the divine magic of of your demon friends here. Is how I would make a distinction. Does that feel right for everyone as a, like, distinction between types of magics and whatnot?
Yeah,
Makes
I buy
sense.
that.
Okay.
Sure, yeah. I can certainly try to help.
I love it.
What do I do?
Well, first I want to describe, you can feel Ryan trying to assume this mantle of power, right? You don't really understand exactly what he's trying to do, but you know, like, you like drew power and created a shield for everyone. You drew power and, you know, shot a lightning bolt across the room. You're like, okay, I understand what drawing this power means. And so you could probably roll lend a hand, and, well, you could lend a hand or get in the way. But if you want to lend a hand, I would think of it as Sarah is further experimenting of, like, oh, I think I understand what it would mean to open this conduit further, right? Like, oh, conduits. Right? You just had a conduit to the zombie control rod, you know? And you see, like, oh, Ryan is creating a connection to something. Like, and I think even, Ryan, how are you expressing that, like, oh, this isn't quite, like, it's almost what you want it to be? What is your expression here?
So it's so I'm assuming the form of Carnunos, but you can see, like, almost like when, like, a lens flare situation where it'll flare and I'll kind of shift back and, like, kind of caught between worlds almost is kind of the feel.
Oh, yeah.
So just caught in between, like, from certain angles, it's absolutely Carnunos, but if you kind of twist it like a crystal and from a different angle, it's definitely Ryan. And I'm trying to get that.
So maybe Sarah kind of, like, tries to, like, magic eye painting it, like, and just, like, kind of magically, like, zhuzh him to where he's trying to go.
I love it. So when you roll with their circle, and I think you do have a good wild circle understanding, right?
It's at least not bad. It's 0.
Oh, it's 0. Okay. Well, based on what already happened, I'm going to give you an additional +1 to the roll, just temporarily, right? For this specific roll based on what's happened already. So go ahead and roll just 2 dice +1. What could go wrong?
Dice. That is an 8.
Okay. So on a hit, you give them +1 or -2 to their roll.
I'm gonna give him +1.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. On a 7 and 9, you expose yourself to danger, entanglement, or cost.
Fair.
The cost / entanglement, it's not going to be danger this time, but it is an entanglement of where you are suddenly privy to the conversation between Carnunos and Ryan. And it starts out along the lines of Carnunos grumbling, not literally saying "How dare you," but just the vibe is, when somebody's reading you and you're just like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry, I have done this incorrectly." And Ryan, you can feel this presence, like, how dare you, right? What are you doing? And then your full connection is established, and actually your motivation, which was to represent Cernunnos and show the power of Cernunnos, is suddenly transmitted to him, and he's like, oh. You're actually worshiping me in this.
Yeah.
Is that accurate for Ryan's intentions?
Yeah, I mean, basically Ryan's intentions and what he was going to explain to Cernunnos why he needed to do this was clearly Mrs. Lane is dealing with necromancy and things of unnatural origin and things of that nature, which go against the natural order of things that Cernunnos is kind of sworn to protect. So I'm trying to use him and his symbols of power and nature to get her to stop what she's doing and to make her basically give up the ghost, effectively, stop it, and try to scare her into continuing down this path. So I'm trying to use his authority to give her a major slap on the wrist and stop it, or we'll throw you off a building.
Okay, well. Let me look at... You were using your let it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to complicate this. Your let it out was appear to others as someone you've previously touched?
Yes. Uh-huh.
All right, can you please... Do you have all the playbooks there?
I have the quick start guide.
Okay, can you scroll down to the tainted, please?
The tainted... Actually, I think I have just the playbook. It'd probably be quicker to do it that way.
Okay.
Boop, boop, boop.
And Pooja, with your permission, I'm going to take some liberal use of the devil inside. I just don't want to step on your toes there, if that's all right with you.
Okay. The tainted.
Okay. So the tainted moves, the devil inside.
Yes.
You are assuming a form. It's not a demon form, but you realize you are not just creating an illusion, which is normally what this is. Right? You feel yourself grow. You're 8 feet tall. You fill out through the chest and shoulders. You feel your knees crack and bend to the digitigrade, hooved, satyr legs. But if a satyr was the size of a stag / moose, the epic stag of Shadow and Bone kind of, I don't know if you're familiar with that series.
I'm not, but I can follow. I gotcha.
Yeah. Just massive. But it's not like moose antlers. Those are really distinctive, but just this incredibly huge thing. And what I would like you to do is pick 2 things from the list. And actually, I'm gonna have you pick a 3rd thing because you are working for your patron right now, and he approves of what you're doing. So You're gonna pick 3 things, or 4 if you want to mark a corruption.
No, I'm gonna stick with the 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with the 3. Although actually, because I got a 10, I can choose to not mark a corruption when I use let it out, so I can use it when I already marked.
Yeah.
You know what? We'll go and do that then. We'll do 4 things. Why not? We'll keep that corruption marked.
I love it.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and choose the weapon. So we'll go ahead and do... I'm going to say Cernunnos is known for having a spear, because that seems... Actually, I'm pretty sure that's something that is pretty familiar.
Yeah, he's got something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll have his spear, his hunting spear. Let's go ahead and take +1 forward. because I think I'm going to need that. And
you know, the +1 forward is only +1 to your next roll.
My next roll. Okay.
Yeah, so it is a limited application.
Okay, let's do gain 1 armor then.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go ahead and use the movement option. But instead of being a thing, it's just being able to run quickly, like
just incredibly swift.
Yeah, his supernatural speed.
Yep. Okay, so weapon, movement,
and +1 armor.
Armor, and
that's right, fourth one.
Yeah. Do you have any harm to heal up?
I only have 1, and it's in my extra box that Carnunos gave me at the top of the mission.
Oh, right.
You know what? Then I will take the +1 forward, and
okay,
that'll be fine.
Yep. All right. So yeah, you manage this full transformation. You know it's not permanent, but it started out with Carnunos being pretty displeased with you. You made your case, and Carnunos was like, "Well, there's no halfsies. Take it all." And you know, you just are filled with his power, and your body has no choice but to adapt and change and grow and you know, be that conduit, right?
I would like to say phrasing on that entire paragraph you just said.
That was not an accident.
Oh, I know. And I'm here for it.
We do phrasing here. And Sarah.
Yes.
What is Sarah as a character? Not Sam. I know Sam has an exhaustive knowledge of folklore and fairy tales and that sort of thing. What do you suppose Sarah's favorite kind of folklore fairy tale type story would have been?
Ooh, good question. I should have probably looked that up ahead of time.
Well, there's no way we would have, because there's no reason to know. I was going to ask you that.
It's the sort of thing I should expect.
Oh, you know what I'll do? I'm going to come back to you while you look that up, because the answer is going to be really good. For the purposes of our scene, Sarah is locked in a moment as well, right? There's like the like swirling air, like we can see the air moving around, like leaves and bits of paper and stuff is happening as Sarah was connected to whatever's happening with Ryan. But Belle, you're getting up off the ground. What are you going to do?
I mean, Mrs. Lane is distracted by Ryan Carnunos here is what's happening?
Yeah. She's like split between like being real mad at Sarah and a little concerned about Ryan's situation.
Cool. Well, I mean, I really only have the one move, and I'm gonna do it again with the letting it out and the form harm armor piercing, as I once again try to attack this lady.
Okay.
And get this over with so we can rob her.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're here to do.
Yep.
So let's see how this goes.
Yeah, you go running through the, well, quote unquote, battlefield.
Yep.
And you're going to turn to violence.
Well, I'm going to let it out, actually. I'm trying again with my... let me know what you think if she is, again, an unsuspecting target who has underestimated me.
You know, I'm okay with that because you got knocked down by zombies. She's like, right off. That's not my problem.
Not my problem. And, you know, she's distracted by everyone else. No one's looking at Belle over here.
Yeah.
Oh, now that is much nicer. These dice are my friends. That is a 10 on the dice, plus 1 for an 11.
Oh my.
Almost that 12.
Okay. So a 10 plus on Let It Out has on a hit, mark corruption, activate an ability. On a 10 plus, ignore the corruption or the complications, your choice.
I will take the corruption and ignore the complications. Because this situation doesn't need to get any more complicated.
Okay. But you did say you wanted to get in there with your glass hand?
Yep. Going at her with the glass hand.
Okay.
and hoping that she's squishy enough that the stabby things you mentioned earlier will come into play.
Yeah. How much damage did I say they were? 2 harm?
Well, this particular move. I don't know
supposed
if
to do 4 harm.
It does 4 harm, armor
Right.
piercing.
Okay. So we're taking the corruption, so we ignore the complications.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So what does this look like as you like run through the penthouse? You know, are you like leaping over stuff?
Oh yeah, leaping full on parkour run.
Okay.
And then leaping at her glass hand first.
Sure. I think you have to do when the person like slides across the hood of the car.
Oh yeah.
Like you have to go over the countertop to get to her. And now like, who's slippery now?
Exactly.
And you get there and you just go for this like knife hand with your and there's this kind of slow motion moment where time like sort of grinds to a halt, right? And you see her surprise as your hand like shatters the little like bubble of light, like her magical armor, because this was her magic, right? This like glass hand was her enchantment, and you're attacking her with it, right?
Nice.
So, but you do have a choice, right? So I'm going to. It's not a complication, right? Because it's just 2 good things that you can choose from, right?
Oh, nice.
So you could go through and do your 4 harm, right? Which is not gonna kill her, but it's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Or if you accept that this arm is your arm, it's gonna be 6 harm, which I'm not gonna tell you whether that kills her or not, but it is 50% more harm. And healing spells won't turn it back to a flesh arm. A healing spell would repair your glass arm if it was damaged, but it would permanently be the arm situation for you. If you want to, you know what? Not 6 harm, 8 harm.
Oh, does it look cool?
You tell me. What is
does the arm look? Does it look like? Is it like a blown glass arm? Is it all sort of shards? Does it look like someone has stuck a bunch of mirrors to a meat arm? Like what are we envisioning here?
So I'm picturing kind of the surface of what was that polygonal thing? It was kind of like a Rubik's cube. But you know the toy that I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I'm picturing your skin is just these facets of glass, and so it's not like a smooth mannequin arm, but it is. Okay. It's lots of tiny little facets, like maybe they're all about an inch or so. Various
kind of like a mirror ball, like a disco ball.
Yes, like a mirror ball in the shape of your arm, but multicolored. Or no, what did you say it was? It was like
red.
Yeah. So various red, orange, pink. There's a range of reds there, but and it's cool. Even. I think at this point your fingers and stuff were mostly like sharp shards of glass. But if you accept glass arm into your heart, if you're ready to walk with glass arm in your life, the shards will fold and smooth and actually become fingers that are much more like a prosthetic arm at that.
All right.
At that
point. Okay, yeah, I'm ready to accept glass arm into my heart.
Okay. Awesome. So there's a moment where this like enchantment flashes, and then we actually can see like it's actually your bones inside. Like we can kind of see through it a little bit.
Yeah.
The glass is really just your skin at that point, right? And you just stab into the middle of her, and you do 8 harm. You kind of pin her to the floor, and she's looking up at you. I mean, you're vaguely aware of like, oh, this would be a good moment to like yank her heart out and show it to her.
Oh, nice.
But it's not in there.
Oh.
Right? So you have her pinned to the floor, like you've cracked through her chest, out the back, into like the fancy tiles of the floor. So you're kind of like up to your elbow in Mrs. Lane.
Yeah.
And that is...
Raising indeed.
Oh my.
It's definitely a three knuckler for sure.
Oh, wow. We are very PG TVMA.
Yeah.
I mean, through the sternum, but you know.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, you have her pinned, and she's looking up at you, like kind of gasping, but she's not dead, right? Like you could probably just hold her here though, because she's now like way distracted and is like holding your arm, you know, and like trying. There's like a couple little like magical effects that have like she sort of did a dazzler like like couple of you know sparklers go off. Not dazzler. What's her face from X-Men?
Yep. Jubilee.
Jubilee. Yeah. Or the poor way that Jubilee is done in the cartoon from the 80s. She's actually like a pretty cool mutant, but
Yeah.
Done so dirty.
What's that?
She's not done so dirty.
So
Oh,
dirty.
yeah. That was not fair to her, but that's an image that we all have in our mind, probably. So yeah, Miss Lane is like sparking and weakly trying to defend herself. You're certainly aware. You're like, oh yeah, well as long as I'm going in, I might as well get the heart. And you're just like, oh, there's nothing,
nope,
right?
nothing
Which is
there.
kind of why you went all
right.
the way through. There's an amount of blood less than you would have expected.
Necromancers, man, they're a little less satisfying, but it's all right. We're all good.
And then if you want, Belle, I would allow you to roll Study a Place of Power.
Yes.
But there is, like, if you get a 6-, there could be serious repercussions. So
You know what?
it's your choice.
With the circle, what do I have in the power circle? Ooh, I got a -1. I'm going to do it.
That's what we like. Take a thread.
Actually, I got double, so I should have gotten a thread. Oh, that ends badly for everyone. That is a 4 on the dice. -1 is a 3 for those keeping score at home.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So the repercussions are that you're getting piled on by the skeletons that have chased you back to where Mrs. Lane is. She's not in super control of them, but they are kind of on. They have some autopilot commands that they're supposed to follow. So we're gonna be looking at 4 harm because they're getting at you, like stabbing you in the back with their like broken arm bones and all that kind of stuff. You're not going to be able to use your glass arm as armor. But do you have any other armor?
I do not. If the one armor that Sarah gave us before has ended...
No, that applies to the whole scene.
All right, great. Then I have that.
Okay, so we'll reduce it to 3 harm.
Okay.
How many boxes do you have?
I have 2 boxes.
Oh, okay.
So
everybody, we see Bell go down. He's goes down under a pile of skeletons after like we all see him like pin Mrs. Lane, right? And something's going on back there, and then skeletons just pile onto him, and it's really hard to know what's going on way back in the kitchen now. So, I got to come back to Sarah. Sarah, what was your folklore choice?
Okay, so there is a type of dragon called a bishop that appears as like a winged snake or a combination of elements from different animals. That is like a water dragon. Sometimes it steals children and replaces them with a small evil spirit.
Sure.
And it lives in a volcano.
Are children not already small evil spirits?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So, in your channeling power with Cernunnos, you draw the attention of other powerful deities, including Vritra, who is not just into leopard snakes, but is familiar with, like your adoration of Asmita and your connection to the just raw power that Ryan's tapped into. You wind up being temporarily transformed into. Are you familiar with what a D&D Dragonborn looks like?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're also going to have you roll on the Tainted's move. I'm sorry, Pooja. It's not going to be forever. It's just a really good transformation move. So
It really is. I like it quite a bit.
Yep. I'm looking at this and I'm jealous when I think about like the Verdance move in Demigods of like, wow, my shape change move is not this elegant.
Okay. So I'm rolling plus what?
Plus blood.
Well, I'm not good at that. Okay. Don't do it bad, dice. We get to be a dragon. Well, 6.
Oh.
Can I? I'm gonna assist you here,
The dice don't want to
and
be a
you're-
even though it is
dragon.
against my better judgment.
And your lizard dragon daughter?
But I think that I see, because you drew the attention of my patron. And I am going to say that, like, in my mind, you either accept this power or you're destroyed by it. And I would feel very responsible if you got destroyed by it, since I got you into this mess to begin with.
Fair. Thank you.
So I am going to help you accept it and accept the change that's coming over you.
I'm gonna make a deal with you, Pooja. If you take corruption, you don't need to roll lend a hand unless you want to roll lend a hand to potentially get the 10 plus. But
Let me see.
otherwise, if you take corruption, I'll just give you the +1 for free. I mean, for corruption.
Free. It's basically free, right?
For free with purchase of one
Free.
corrupt.
Right?
I actually will, but this will be fun because I am pretty sure that this would kind of trigger a corruption for me anyway, because I am persuading someone on my patron's behalf.
Oh, yeah. So do you want to take a double?
I think this one is the moment where I'm like, well, I either do this or something, or your death will be on my hands.
Yeah, I mean, it
That's how I
could.
feel
That
about it.
power could tear Sarah apart, for sure.
Yeah. So I am going to take that. I'm going to take that leap.
Okay.
I must protect my. I
All
must
right.
protect this person who
So-
I was gonna like, I must protect my child, and I'm like, whatever, mentally, emotionally, child.
Yeah,
Sam, do you have the PDF open there?
I do.
Yeah, if you scroll up to the Tainted playbook, we're again referencing the Devil Inside move.
Yes.
And you now have a 7. So on a 7 to 9, you get to pick 2. And you can pick whatever you like from that list.
Ooh, fun. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go with gain armor, because scaly dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Ooh, demonic movement. Yeah. I mean, that her favorite creature is a winged dragon, so let's fly.
Okay. I like it.
And dragons are good at smelling stuff, so I'll take some demonic senses.
Oh, I think you only get 2 things.
Oh wait, two. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then flight and armor. Let's do 2.
Okay.
Let's do.
What
Okay.
color are the scales? What do you look like now?
Ooh, good question. I think let's see. These guys, they're water dragons and deal with like lightning and storms. So I think she's kind of like a bluish gray to like kind of watery blue kind of color.
Cool. All right. Yeah, we're all experiencing transformations today. So,
Fun.
this is good. Now, all of that started from Ryan trying to appease Kernunos, Sarah giving the support, opened herself up to the magics of various sources. Started to be, Sarah was kind of pushed and pulled in a couple different directions, and as Mita stepped in to guide Sarah from not having the powers that be tear her apart. And Sarah, you take on this form that isn't yours and isn't going to be forever, but you do feel this sort of new empowerment of the scales and the wings that rip out of your back, and
Awesome.
all of that is what's happening here. So, and I need to look up one thing about what happens when you take too much harm.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I did keep forgetting to take scars.
Oh, yes. I think it is time for you to take a scar.
Yep. Does taking the scars clear my harm?
Well, it would reduce all of the harm you just took.
Oh, yeah.
So, what did you take? 3?
Yep.
Yeah, so you could ignore all that
2.
by taking -1 to 1 of your stats.
Oh, yeah, I will 100% do that.
Okay, so which stat are you going to mark?
I am going to take -1. I'm feeling fractured. So I'm going to take -1 to mind.
Okay. And so is that scar a visible scar, or is this more of like an emotional scar?
I think it's an emotional scar. I mean, I've got a glass arm here. While it is very useful, and I have accepted it into my heart, I am not the being that I was mere moments ago, and I have to deal with that.
Okay, that's fair. We will remove that 3 harm from your track, which leaves you at 3, I think.
Still leaves me at 3, but
Okay.
I'm just going to take scars from here on out.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, Ryan, how do you want to get into the mix with your Kernunos form?
Oh, I'm ready to just charge in, stampede in, and head over to where poor Bell is and try to unearth him from these skeletons that are doing terrible, terrible things to his poor, vulnerable body.
Yep. Okay, so let's roll turn to violence.
Okay. Which, because I have that +1 forward, that'll make it a 0 instead of -1 for blood. All right, that is a 7 total, because the -1 goes to 0 because of that +1. So 7
Great.
total.
Well, it's a good thing you had that +1 then.
No shit, right?
And that +1 was from your shape change. So
Right.
What is it about your shape that turned this from a potential problem into a successful endeavor?
Well, Ryan's normally pretty fit, but it's all aesthetic fit.
Yeah.
It's all, pretty fit.
Yeah.
This is the first time he's actually using any actual muscle, and so he's quicker and more agile and stronger than he is used to. So things move more easily for him.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he makes a couple missteps, but is able to power through it. It's still a 7 and 9. So on a hit, you inflict harm. Established. What's your harm at with these weapons?
I believe it was a +2.
Oh, with your spear.
Yeah, with the spear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay.
find it again. Yeah.
And then your opposition chooses one. So they inflict harm, they put you in a bad spot, they create an opening to flee. Yeah, I think they're just going to inflict harm on you.
Okay.
You're not fighting all of the skeletons at once, so it's only 2 harm. And that would be -1 for Sarah's armor. Did you take shape change
I did.
armor?
I also took shape change armor.
Yeah, okay. So the skeletons just kind of break their hands against you as you're getting in there with your spear. Now your spear is medium successful because you're stabbing at skeletons, which you're having to like kind of turn it into a baseball bat for this.
Sure.
But you're getting in your shots. Okay.
Perfect. I'll take it.
Then Asmita, let's follow up with you. Your student has gone through a whole change. Student / worshiper.
Ignoring that part. Still ignoring that part. We'll fix it later. I'm sure we'll be able to fix it later. It's at least she didn't die. Yes. Okay. But the important thing right now is that we get the job done. Because eventually people are going to notice that we're having this massive pitched battle up here.
Maybe.
So I'm going to try to use my demonic senses to sniff out where the amulet and the vellum are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's do that. This is not study a place of power, though. This is going to be... I'm going to do this is a version of like figure someone out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just customize this a little bit. So go ahead and roll with mind.
That is really unfortunate.
But you're using your senses that like you normally wouldn't have gotten a roll at all. So sniffing out the magic.
Okay. Ugh. I rolled a 7, -1 is a 6.
Okay.
Sad about it.
Now, I imagine your demonic senses are your snake head is coming up and your little tongue is flicking out as you sniff the air with your tongue.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's basically like as I weave like my head around, and you kind of see the slits in my face kind of flare open a little bit, and as my tongue comes out.
Sure. Multi-sensory sort of investigation. And I think you look a little, you're sort of like wavering there, like the snake coming up out of the basket sort of thing of like, I feel like I should be doing something, but I don't know what to do. I like the music. Like, that vibe of like, where am I supposed to be right now? How did I get here? Why am I in this handbasket? But Sarah, you can see your cherished one. I don't want to ascribe too much of that. You can decide that. But you can see Asmita is trying to extend what you would think of as like your magic sight, right? Like
Right.
She doesn't do it the same way you do, but you're thinking maybe you could bridge the distance, right? Because we're in an area that's a lot more familiar to your arcane senses.
Yeah.
And perhaps her demonic senses are what's not bridging the gap.
Right.
So
I recognize that scanning for magic look, so
yeah.
maybe
So
I could.
if you want to roll lend a hand, you can roll plus wild.
Okay. Let's give it a try. Do a good job, dice, please. They did 11.
Ooh, that's great.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on a hit, they get +1 to the roll, and since it's not 7 to 9, you don't expose yourself to danger, entanglement, or cost.
Woohoo!
So what does it look like, Sarah, when you pick up on what Asmita's doing and you help Asmita cover the gap to find what she's looking for?
Ooh. I think it looks like maybe the like clouds part slightly, and it just like a little bit of light kind of like scans down and like where she
Ooh, like a moonbeam.
yeah, like a little bit of a moonbeam, like kind of scanning, and then kind of zeroes in on the area where like the magic is.
Okay. Asmita, how does that what is your reaction to this?
Well, I'm grateful, and as I see like the beam of light go down to the area, it's kind of like it helps me like lock in, and I can separate out the scents from those items from the other like residual magic that's around me.
Yeah,
Because
there's so
all
much
this like
arcane
like-
smell here.
exactly. It's like all this from raising the skeletons and the zombies, and then like Mrs. Lane herself has this weird like overwhelming. I apparently summoned a fly by accident.
Ah,
So
necromancy.
like has all of this kind of like aura of magic around her that had been permeating the air. And thanks to Sarah's assistance, I'm able to like, oh, that was that little thread. That was the actual thread I was looking for.
Yep. And what you discover is the reason why it was so faint and hard to detect is that there is, back in the furthest bedroom, there's a walk-in closet that has a false wall in the back that is a walk-in vault, And the vault itself is not much bigger than the closet itself, right? But you could walk into it and it's maybe like 6 feet deep and it's not very wide, right? Like it's just wide enough to walk into, but it's got various like, it's like a little mini bank vault, right? There's like drawer and door locks and everything that's variously locked up. But the vault is closed, and which is why it was so hard to detect what it is you're looking for. But it really seems like both things you want are inside that vault.
Great. It looks like Ryan and Belle kind of have this now. So I'm gonna go for it. I'm
Okay.
gonna go for the vault because the important thing is that we get the job done. Or it won't matter how awesome your glass arm is.
Well, I agree. I do want to again note, covered in zombies, badly hurt. Not necessarily sure that counts as have this. That's all.
Well, you have Kernunos man over there.
I know, but I'm just saying it's.
And my elephants are taking care of a bunch of the skeletons.
Yeah, no. Again, I am fully in support. Go for the vault, but just maybe don't just leave without us.
I'm not gonna leave without you.
Just just mentioning it.
Okay.
The point is, one of us actually has to stay on task.
So is it safe to assume Sarah is going with Esmita?
I think she is going to. I would like to direct my zombie army a little bit before I do that. I think she, because we saw the elephants kind of smash them with their tusks and kind of figured that part out. I think she picks up like a shard of bone and hands it to the zombies.
Okay, yep. They all lean down and pick up a femur or whatever they can find.
And then just kind of like gestures towards the skeletons. Like she tries to say, smash the skeletons, but now she's a dragon, so it like comes out sounding like a wave crashing. And she's like,
ooh,
excuse me.
Very cool. I love it. Yeah, I think we even
just,
see
like,
that.
I turn to you and I'm like, you get used to it.
And you were kind of picturing like lightning dragon as well, right? Yeah, so when you're talking, I think we see that like spark of electricity in the back of your throat. And the sound of the wave crashing. Oh, that's very cool. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is just a raw dice roll, right? This isn't like, if it's a 6-, it's not something that's going to directly affect you. It's just how well the zombies versus the skeletons fight goes.
Okay.
So let's roll it and see what happens.
All right. Dice. Be good zombies.
It's that move in the game that says, when your army of zombies attacks a fellow army of skeletons, roll.
That old chestnut.
The dice like this. I got an 11.
Oh. Okay, so the zombies wade in and just lay waste to the skeletons. They smack them. The skeletons try to reform, and the zombies just stomp on them. They're kicking them. It's like Office Space in here. They're just like kicking, stomping, beating skeletons. And before long, there's nothing left for them to fight, and it's getting like weirdly quiet in here. The zombies are kind of milling around. Belle, it's kind of up to you whether you want to be getting up. Mrs. Lane is still struggling, pinned to the floor with your arm. But I do want to mention, so Belle, as you're looking up, and you're like, oh good, the skeletons are not trying to tear me apart anymore. You look up on the shelf by the window, the kitchen, and there's like a sink that looks out the window, and then the counter to the side of that has like an increasing, those like matching jar sets with like the gasketed, the lid thing to like cookie jar and flour and sugar and all that kind of stuff.
And internal organs.
Except you see these like Assyrian symbols on them that you can't read the symbols, but you have a pretty good idea of like, hang on a minute. So what do you want to do about it?
Well, I mean, since she's still struggling, I don't want to let her up yet, but I do want to look at Ryan and sort of say, hey, Ryan, you want to do something about her?
Oh, I have an idea.
So,
Okay.
if you wanted to, I do have her immobilized, so...
And also, just as a quick check-in, the job did not include or require the assassination of Mrs. Lane.
Right.
No.
However, this is entirely up to your story to tell. So, just there certainly would be, like, you have the option of like negotiating with her right now because she is at your disposal. You have the option of disposing of Mrs. Lane, certainly. There are lots of things on the table as things have mostly calmed down at the moment. But Ryan, what is it you wanted to do?
Well, since Belle was so kind to point out the jars, I would like to find a jar that contains a little beating organ that we all know and love, and basically put my spear at the jar.
Okay, yeah, her eyes go wide. She stops struggling, and she like sort of she's like her lungs are sort of bothered right now. She's not in pain, but her body doesn't work right, because she's has an arm through her chest.
Yeah.
But the expression on her face, you just see like she starts out mouthing and finally is able to gasp like, no, anything in my power.
I require a debt from you. A chip that can be cashed in whenever I may be in need of you or your services as a token of recompense for all of your crimes against nature that have occurred here. Do we have an understanding?
If I survive and nothing else is broken.
Define broken.
Yes, let's define broken.
There are many sensitive, valuable things here, and she's kind of gesturing around the kitchen primarily. But that's what she says. Like,
Do you care if we leave with some items?
what? Why are you here?
That's for us to know and for you to possibly
What
find
did
out.
I do to you? What is happening?
You heard Ryan. That's for us to know and you to find out at some later date.
Ryan.
Oh no.
Thanks, Belle. I mean, it's not my actual name, but thank you.
Belle. She just rasps out the names.
Yeah,
She
definitely did
knew
that
who
on
I
purpose.
was.
Like, I'm not the only one getting fucked here.
Well, wait a second. She knows who I am.
I was about to say,
Does she?
Don't be shitty,
Yeah.
Mrs. Lane.
Is it just a Thanos moment? I don't even know who you are,
The worst.
right?
So, no, you're just being shitty. Come on.
Kind of.
Do we have an agreement?
You'll spare my life and my things.
Yes.
except for the things we want.
Naturally.
What will you take? Some of it isn't worth my life.
Again.
Like what she's trying to say is like she would rather die than give up some of the things, or like if you took it, she would die anyway. Is kind of the implication,
Well,
and so
I'm like, we'll see what happens once we walk out the door with what we want.
I could just kill you now. Do you want to take that risk?
Fine.
Lovely.
Thank you.
And I will basically kind of chill by the jars just in case you try something funny, but also to kind of protect the jars in case, the horde of zombies get a weird idea.
Mm-hmm. I will let her up, I guess.
Okay.
And then I'm going to let it out once again to sniff out a secret stash.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. As you let her up, she's having a strong was it Better Off Dead moment? Which is,
Death becomes her.
oh, death becomes her. Thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
a big hole in her chest. And she sits up and is like at least speaking more easily because you're not pushing against her lungs. You know?
Yeah, or whatever passes for lungs inside of her body.
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't know
you
what's
could
going
see
on
them
there.
working in the gap. Mind the gap.
Yep.
Okay, Belle, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 9 on the dice plus 1 for a 10.
Oh, okay. And what does it say? What that means as a stash, or just says sniff out a secret
Sniff out
stash?
a secret stash, even when expertly concealed or hidden.
Oh, okay. I think what it is, what you sniff out is there's all these clues around, and suddenly it's like what's like the character with all the like algebra stuff,
Yep,
the
yeah.
moment of like seeing, like when you look at
Yep.
it from this angle, everything like goes into place, and you actually now know the combination to the vault.
Oh, cool.
Which was going to be a whole other challenge, but you've just bypassed that. So
Excellent.
And Asmita, you're getting over to the vault and you're looking at this thing with like a whole collection of seemingly randomly placed arcane things like scraped into the steel of the vault. And there's no like visible like turny thing. So you're kind of standing there like, I don't actually know what to do with this aside from trying to physically rip it open, which was an option. But
Or to just move through it.
oh yeah, that's true. Could try to do that. But it is warded. It's magically protected and could have been an issue. But yeah, Belle, you're looking around.
Yeah, I'll walk over and say, hey, I think I might have this.
If you feel, as confident as you did when the last time you had it.
Low.
Wow. All right.
I don't know. It seems to have worked out. That
worked out.
arm is quite a thing.
The arm is quite a thing, and look, it's in the past. We're
It's
moving
attached to you right
forward.
now.
Well, the arm is attached to me right now, but the decisions made that led to it are in the past. Let's just live in the present, okay? We're just live in the now.
Great.
And now I am very sure that I have this.
Okay.
And so I will open the door.
Okay. Ryan, are you staying with Mrs. Lane, or are you heading over into the bedroom?
No, I'm staying with Mrs. Lane. Like
Okay.
I'm maintaining that whole situation.
Okay. Yeah, the zombies are kind of just milling around at this point, having, exhausted their instructions, and most of them are actually just standing still, kind of staring at the floor like, and Mrs. Lane continues to ask you, like, why are you here? What did I do to you?
Me? Oh, nothing. It wasn't my issue at all, really. I just came because they asked me, and I'd have to find another place to hang out if something happened to all of them.
I'm so confused.
Good. You should be confused. Confusion is good. give in to the confusion.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I'm just playing mind games with her at this point. It's super fun.
yeah. I want to have you roll something.
Okay.
This is... I'm going to have you roll figure someone out.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
Roll with mind, unless you have some modification of that move.
No. And my mind's a 0. Okay, it's not great, but it's not my -1. So that's Snake Eyes.
Wow. Y'all's dice hate you today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for Sam's.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's
They only like it when I'm doing stuff with zombies.
Yeah, they've been super feast or famine today.
Okay, so one of these questions, Mrs. Lane tricks you into answering.
Okay.
Which question do you answer?
Rob, I mean, this seems a little obvious. Let me know if you want me to pick another one. But who's pulling your character strings?
Okay. And you managed to bring up Kernunos?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's probably not ideal for her to have that information, so that fits for me.
Okay.
Great. Okay, meanwhile, in the bedroom, in the closet, which no one should have to stay in if they're ready to come out. Happy Pride, everyone. And the vault is there. Belle, you feel like you've got an instinct for this, and there's no roll here. You just are remembering like everything you saw from your point of view in the kitchen. Like, yep, I understand what these symbols mean. You touch them in the correct order. Something internally spins and clunks, and the door just opens an inch and is, you can pull it open.
Great.
And yeah, it's a floor to ceiling walk-in miniature vault. What do the three of you do?
Take stuff.
Shove Belle inside and close the door?
Hey.
I have a vellum to obtain.
Yeah.
Okay.
She goes for her vellum. I go for, what is it, a ring?
The
I
amulet?
forget. Amulet, whatever.
Yep.
I'd also like to, I'm going to study a place of power.
Oh yeah, I'm up for that. Did we ever say what the amulet does?
Nope.
No.
We never
Okay.
even asked. Nope.
Great.
So let me study a place of power to try to see if there's other cool.
We just know that a powerful vampire wanted it.
Yep. That's what they want with it is none of our concern.
But it's cool because, you maintain the balance in the city by giving the hunters a box of very powerful stakes.
Yep.
Exactly. It's a 7.
For study a place of power?
No, it's an 8. Study a place of power. It's a 9 on the dice, -1 with the power circle, so an 8.
Okay. On a hit, you see below the surface of reality, the surface to the reality underneath. Ask the MC one question about the schemes and politics of the circle in question.
What the hell were they doing up here that blew up this penthouse?
Okay. So, the markings on the various like little drawers and cabinets, like a like miniature bank vault. We all can picture this, right? Like safe deposit boxes, that kind of stuff. The markings you can see are all like a type of organ, and you see that you're able to decipher for a code that basically leads to, like, there are several containers that are devoted to Mr. Lane, several containers that are devoted to Miss Lane, none of them Mrs. Lane. And it looks like she's been trying to reanimate her spouses.
Aww. That's actually kind of sweet. I feel a little bad. Only a little. Is there anything cool in here that I can take?
Well, you could take any of her spouse's organs, the
Don't
like
want those.
5 primary organs that, from mummification lore. I can't remember what all they're supposed to be, but it is like the heart and the liver and the brain and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, that's gross. No.
Oh, actually, I think the brain was tossed out. They were like, "This is nothing."
This does nothing for the
I'm
body.
pretty sure that's part of it. Is that they were like, "This
Wow,
doesn't do
this is
anything. Get
worthless."
out of here." Yeah, it's like heart, liver, kidney. Well, I don't remember. We could probably Google it. But the amulet is acquired. The amulet is actually rather understated. It's more like a big fancy necklace with several like gold coin type arrangements. They're not literal gold coins, but they're like gold discs that come down to they kind of look like phases of the moon if the moon were portrayed in gold. So it looks more like maybe phases of a solar eclipse that are alternating down to then like a full sun motif in the center. And so it's sort of an amulet, sort of a fancy chunky necklace. And there aren't a lot of like runes or symbols on it, but you can feel the magic in it. Sarah, actually, I'm going to have you just reflexively tell, like, you can tell this is like some sort of warding protective spell. To know more, we'd have to roll for it, but you could just feel like, whatever this does, it protects from something. But Belle, I don't know if you would sort of instinctively pick up on that. What is your, well, no, you sniff out magic, right?
Yeah, I mean, I should be able to sniff that out. Yeah. I mean,
Okay. So yeah, you also pick up on the sort of warding, protective qualities of it. But to get more, we would have to. We would call it. We would do like a modified figure someone out, as in figure this thing out. If you want to roll that.
I don't. I don't care. It's been enough. I'm giving it away. That's fine.
Okay. So you're just putting this away in a pocket.
I'm putting that in my pocket, but I would like to see if there's anything else here that can that would be of use.
Okay. Well, first, let me go to Asmita. You're looking for your scroll. You can smell where it is, but it's in one of those like locked pull-out drawers. It's like maybe yay big, and it hasn't opened up with a number of things that did open up when Belle did the codes. So it's up to you what you want to do about it. There's no. It looks like it just has a keyhole.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna use this ability because I've wanted to for a while. It's like I'm gonna let it out to try to move through or past a physical
Pooja, real
obstacle.
quick, it seems like your volume went down a little bit.
Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna let it out
that's better.
to
Thank you.
try to move through or past a physical obstacle created by mortal hands.
Aha. Well, mortal hands. I'll allow it, but it's going to be with disadvantage because she's not technically mortal.
Oh, okay. Well, if the wizards don't count as mortals, then I mean, I could just rip it out of there.
That's an option.
And I think I think I will.
Just try to tear it open.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just roll with blood. It's sort of a violence move.
That makes it a 12.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh shit.
I am ready to be done with this. I'm ready
yeah.
to be done with this day. It has been a day.
It
Yeah,
has
you
been.
just jab your leopard claws into the space in between, and just the like screech of rending metal as you like force your claws into the space and then flip the thing open, and the I think the front of this drawer, like normally it would swing open and you pull the drawer out, or the little, sliding container. That front thing is just like kind of sad, hanging off one hinge. But yeah, you can slide this thing out, and inside is this beautiful vellum. You can see it's basically flat, and the ends are kind of rolled up a little bit. You could easily roll it up, but also in there with it is just the empty scroll case, sort of a dark brown leather, and really it just smells like the drawer smells like leather. Because vellum is basically sheepskin for the usually, and yeah, it just smells like rich, fresh leather, not like dead animal or anything.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna as I go and I like run my claw over the vellum and the case, and you can see it's kind of like I stick my entire head in that to get like the full impact of it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that hole. Feeling that hole in my soul right now. As I pick it up, roll it up, stick it in the case. Did you get what we came here for?
I got what I needed. You?
Then let us go.
I'm just one second. I'm just making sure there isn't anything else interesting, other than gross organs.
We all have them.
Yeah, humans. Their wobbly bits are. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Belle. So you want to poke around in there a little bit more?
Yeah, I want just to see if there's something else I can slip in my pocket that's got some power, got some juice, got some fun.
Yeah. Let's see. You did a roll already, right? Or was that for something else?
Yeah, no, I did the study of place of power, so it got me that answer.
Right. Okay. So also what you have access to is one of the containers in here that was easier to open is her like book of notes. Mrs. Lane's like spell book is a little overwrought for what we're talking about. It's more like looks like a sort of black bound, like spiral, not spiral bound, but the like 3-ring binder recipe book kind of thing. But yeah, when you flip through it, you can see it's all sort of arcane spell ritual, all that kind of stuff.
That feels like something that I could sell. So yeah, I'm gonna grab that.
Okay.
Sarah is like very interestedly looking over your shoulder as you're flipping through that. Like, oh, it's all this.
No, you're interested in this?
That looks very useful.
Well, let's go back to my shop and we can discuss what we can exchange.
Okay.
Because it does seem like you probably are going to be in need of a new job.
Yeah, I mean, it does also kind of seem like you guys wouldn't have got up here without my help.
Ooh, I like that.
That is also true. I am in no way, shape, or form doubting that. But, possession, 9/10 of the law. And I'm not saying this isn't something that I wouldn't give up. But let's just discuss an exchange rate that satisfies all parties.
Sure. Yeah, we could definitely exchange something. I mean, I've already kind of exchanged some services because you guys didn't really tell me that you were coming up here to take things.
True.
I don't know if I would have helped you.
But if you hadn't helped us, you would just still be a bartender downstairs.
Are you saying there's something wrong with being a bartender?
I'm not saying that there's not. I'm just saying that you've become so many other things.
It's true. I have realized I have a lot more power than I thought I did.
Yes, with the help of our crew. So I really do feel like this relationship has become mutually beneficial, and I just want to talk about the terms on which we continue it.
We'll have to have a further conversation about this.
Yep.
And I think out of curiosity, she's just going to do her own scan of the vault here. Because my let it out powers include detect the presence and function of magical items or spells.
Oh gosh, yeah, okay. Let's roll let it out. You're probably going to be a little overwhelmed, but if you roll well, you'll be able to, laser in on something.
Let's hope I roll well.
And then we'll have to close out here pretty soon.
Oh yeah, that's a 10 on the dice plus 1 for spirit. 11.
Oh boy,
Woohoo!
yeah. Okay, so let me flip down to your playbook real quick and try to give you something useful. Not like what I normally give y'all. Oh, you know what you find? Did we name the your ward?
Oh yes, Prudence.
Prudence. You find Prudence's contract with the wizards. And
Oh.
there are a lot of things you could do with it, but also just having it means the wizards don't have it. And Prudence would probably be excited to have you have it rather than them, but it also gives you literal power over Prudence.
I'm definitely taking that. The wizards can't have that.
Okay. Yep. You pocket. It's also like a little bit of a scroll. It's not as fancy as the scroll that Asmita picked up, but it is an established contract, and it's worded in the bearer of this scroll has such and such, because in the wizards cadre, you don't necessarily want it to belong to one wizard, right? It's just the higher ups want to have control of it, and they thought, yeah, Mrs. Lane's vault is a good place to put this because it'll keep safe. Okay, so you find that very powerful thing that you were particularly attuned to because of your relationship with Prudence, and we'll find out more about that next time.
Excellent.
And I think, we were originally, sort of behind the scenes, we were having a little bit of a conversation about how this might be close to the end of our campaign, but I feel like this campaign still has legs. And we may have to see where this goes. Does that make sense for everyone?
I think so.
Yeah, there's some stuff happening behind the scenes still that haven't come out, so I think we should put a little bit more time into this. And then, for folks listening, in July, we probably will switch to a new campaign of some kind, with Sam on board. And then I think Jay's talking about taking a break, unless that changes. But we'll figure things out going forward. Really appreciate everyone joining us. We'll certainly be back soon. But let's say our goodbyes, and we'll go reverse this time. So Jay,
Hi y'all, Jay Holtham here. You can find me on the socials at Jay Holtham on the Twitters primarily. You can also find me playing games every other Monday on Happy Jacks with Mr. Jason Mills. And you can find me, new episodes drop weekly of 12-Sided Stories, an actual play podcast that I do with the lovely and charming Pooja. And that's me.
And Joey?
Hey guys, I'm Joey. You can find me on the socials at Joey Nestrex. It's my name. This is the thing I'll try that sentence one more time, Joey. This is the only thing I'm streaming currently. Hopefully coming back soon is our Vampire 5e game over on Happy Jacks Glittering Night, which is so much fun, and we're so close to an ending. We just have to actually get our shit together and make it happen. But keep your eyes on the socials for more stuff coming up soon.
Cool. Pooja?
Hi, I'm Pooja. You can find me on Twitter at LADesigirl. That's LADESI girl, and pretty much everywhere else is Forgotten Saves. As has been mentioned, I'm on the Happy Jacks occasionally, hopefully coming back soon. Murmurs of the Abyss, Glittering Night, so our Vampire 5e campaign.
Glittering Abyss.
You have 3/5 of it right here, because Sam is also in that campaign. And then, so on 12-Sided Stories, we just finished up the release of Unquiet Blood Season 2, which is our Vampire 5e campaign over there. And then we've got our one shot for the next couple of weeks that's coming out. Once again, set in the far future world where Echo isn't so much Echo anymore and is a not so benevolent nanite goddess.
Everyone is Echo.
Everyone has Echo inside of them, and Echo does know best.
Echo's love, yeah. And our newest cast member joining us, Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam. You can find me all over the internet at Red Pandroid. You can also find me every other Monday on Happy Jack's RPG, playing our Traveler actual play with Jay in there. We definitely do not get up to terrible shenanigans and make horrible choices. Oh, Jason also is in that game. And as mentioned, soon the Glittering Knight will be returning as well. Exciting.
Awesome.
Sorry, Sam, I forgot to mention you. I forgot. I'm the worst.
That's okay.
I just love that we have 3/5 of 2 different Happy Jacks campaigns.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. 2/5 of the 12-sided stories gang. It's good. We reach across worlds here and merge the planes. So, as I mentioned, my name's Jason. The channel is It's Probably Okay. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at It's Probably Okay. My schedule is down below on the Twitch page. And aside from that, every other Monday, as mentioned, I'm over on Happy Jacks. Look for Yuma Station, happyjacks.org/Yuma Station to find all the previous episodes and whatnot. And that's pretty much it for us. We will be back next week. At here at 10 a.m. Saturday morning. And thank you so much, everyone who joins us live and later. Your only 2 options to watch the show. I'm gonna take us to our end screen and see if we have anyone to raid, but even if not, have a lovely afternoon. Take care, everyone. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.